Last day of camp with Lane Johnson. Thanks for your time, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
So, at what point, you've been through a lot of training camps. At what point during training camp are you like, I have had enough of training camp?
About the first week. and then you kind of get into the rhythm of it.
Is it? I don't think that mic's working, Mike.
Yeah, the extenders.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, the first week you're like, yeah, I'm done with this. But after a few practices, you kind of get into the, the mode of getting on the field again.
So, best thing about training camp, worst thing about training camp?
Best thing about training camp is usually have really good food, Ritas after every practice. Bad part of training camp is, we got to start our meetings like early. So usually guys go back to meetings around 3, but anytime the special teams meet, that's when the O-line meeting room starts. So we're always in there pretty early.
I know it's not fun, right, when you're that guy now where we have to ask you about your longevity, right, your time here. You've been through several coaches. You've seen the greatest of heights with this organization, 3 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl championships. For yourself, how do you continue to find that motivation to want to come back and be at the best of your abilities?
Yeah, I just, I'm accomplishing everything I wanted to in my 30s that I wish I would accomplish in my 20s. So I think the sense of urgency, knowing that, whatever time you have left, you're kind of coming to the end of it. So I think that motivates me. And also seeing guys that have played, really long time in the NFL, Jackie Slater, Bruce Matthews, Whitworth, JP, all those guys. So they, Trent Williams, those guys motivate me too.
Yeah. When you think about your road, right, to where you are, we all view you, future Hall of Famer, your desire to want to continue to play at that high level. How do you find that? How do you find that sort of, I guess, that mental challenge to want to continue to be at the best?
Yeah, I think a lot of my teammates empower me. I see the motivation they have, and I remember kind of, when you're a young guy in the league, you're trying to make a name for yourself. So I think their intensity is always relatively high, so I try to do my best to match it so I don't get, teed off there in practice. But no, those guys are huge motivators. But like I said, I feel better than what I did when I was 30, when I was going through all, had my ankle issues. So now I feel like I'm, able to be at my best. So
I think you sort of scared everybody the other day. We were watching the Bussin' for the Boys podcast, and you're like, yeah, if we win the Super Bowl this year, I could call it quits.
Yeah.
What goes into thinking about that? What ends up being the most powerful, the most important reason that you would make that decision either way?
Family, because this game, even when you're not obviously in the season, the demand for it is every day in the off season, at least for me. So, as my kids get older, my parents are getting older, you start seeing kind of the circle of life, if you will. So, a lot of time has been spent in this sport all the way since high school. So, no Thanksgivings, no Christmases. So a lot of people that you love, you realize you haven't been able to spend time with them 15, 20 years. So that's where I've been.
A lot of the guys that you spent a lot of time here are some of the key guys like Kelsey and Fletcher and Brandon have retired. When you think about looking forward to it, do you think, well, mine will be like Kelsey or mine will be like Fletcher? Because they're very, very different paths they've taken.
Yeah, I'm gonna be away, so I'm just gonna go now. I'm gonna be a recluse for a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe come back. My beard won't be as long. Maybe I'll be clean shaven. So I don't know. I'm definitely gonna take a little break from it. I'm always gonna be around football, but not in this capacity, I'd say.
Yeah, and you still have that love for the game. That's exemplified in your play out there on the field. I talked to the guys. I got 9 years in. Halfway through that 9th year, I knew, like this is probably going to be. It's going to have to take something, that fits me perfectly for me to want to play a 10th year of this game. You seem to be at peace with where you are as a player. Obviously, coming off winning the Super Bowl, you guys want to go back and do the best you can this year. What are some of the things that sort of keep you sort of motivated and wanting to play?
Yeah, a lot of my time I'm, working with a lot of the younger guys. So I think when I see those guys improve or, if you watch me on the sidelines during the games, whenever the defense is on, those guys getting sacks, Pat Johnson, those guys that, I go against every day, I feel like, I've had my help in there, training these guys and them developing me. So, the thing about football, I just love the team aspect. I love being around a group of guys that are, intense and, and you have to go practice every day. It doesn't matter how you feel. You have your good and your bad days, but, you have the guys to the left and right of you. And that's what I've always loved about football, the team aspect, overcoming obstacles. And, I think a lot of guys in the offseason, when they're by themselves, they kind of miss that feeling of and so, I think that's what I'll miss too when I step away from the game.
How much of playing for Coach Stoutland sort of makes you want to come back and play, or at least continue to push to play?
Yeah, I love coming to work. I love laying on the line every day, but I love to go in the meeting room, and it's there's a lot of comedy factor in it, so I'm laughing every day. It's intense, but man, there's a lot to look forward to. You really don't know what you're going to get from the day to day, so it's always entertaining. And so that's where I'm at now, and I get to experience this new generation of music I don't know, and so a lot of changes. A lot of people changes, a lot of music changes. So I'm getting a good dose of it.
Speaking of music, so baseball players, when they come up to bat, they get a song. Now we have a reliever here that gets a song. If you could pick, if they introduce the offensive line individually, you each got a song, what would the Lane Johnson song be?
I might be the Jaws, just the theme song.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know, something to build the anticipation. I don't know. Shout out to Jaws.
If you could go back and give rookie Lane, you could talk to him.
Yeah.
What would you tell him?
I'd say, hey, let's get that Gillette Fusion razor on that head. Maybe before you step on foot here in Philly. That's what I'd have done.
Man, you had hair back then?
Hey, yeah, it was receding. That sunroof was going back, and I didn't want to let it go. But
yeah,
it
that's
went.
like me. That's like me. People don't believe I had hair like my first year or two, but I'm like, it wasn't. It was there, but it wasn't really there.
After just getting so much ridicule from teammates, I said, hey,
yeah, you got to let it go.
Yeah, maybe they're right.
Yeah.
So you were a quarterback at one point. Yeah. If you had to go into a play, right? they were like, Lane's got to play quarterback this play. And the most fearsome defensive lineman was there. And you could pick any of your teammates to block that guy. Any of your teammates in history. Who would you pick to block that guy?
I don't know. Maybe Mulata. He's just the biggest, the largest. He's just a massive man. Probably Brooks too. It's out of him, Brooks, and JP. So whoever's weighing the most that particular day is who I'm going to use. So, but Mulata right now.
Yeah, I was going to say you have to use Brooks in his playing days. I've seen Brandon.
Yeah,
he's shed a few pounds.
Yeah, he'll shed. He can get ripped pretty quick. But that's a good question.
So we talked to Coach Sirianni a couple days ago. What do you think meant most to Coach Sirianni? Winning the Super Bowl or keeping the tush push this offseason?
Super Bowl for him, I think. It just been in a weird situation, not just for us, but anybody that runs the quarterback sneak, the tush push. The Bills are really good at it. Brady was really good at it in Foxborough. So, it would have been we'd have had a whole other goal line package. Maybe put JC at fullback back there, and
there you go.
Yeah, maybe get that
going. So you've had 2 post Super Bowl off seasons. Did you learn anything? Post-Super Bowl winning off seasons. Did you learn anything after winning the 18 Super Bowl that you took into this past off season as sort of how to handle it, how to think about it? Because obviously following up a season like that, you've been asked about a million times. You learned something there. Was there anything that you did differently this time than you did last time?
Well, I think I realized that we were getting everybody's best the next season, so from my standpoint, I just try to remember what got us there in the first place. How are my practice habits? How are my work habits? And I stack those day to day, all those hours, and hopefully the 3 hours that I put on the field represents all the time, out of the spotlight, me working. So I really dive into that. I try not to, think about, who we got to beat this week. It's all about try to take care of little things, and that's really it. But it's very easy to become distracted. I would almost say it's a lot harder dealing with success than it is failure. You have a huge motivator with lots of losses, but when you're winning and people are telling you how great the franchise is and this, it's a very slippery slope. So you got to choose, how you want to go and how you want to make progress from there.
So final question. We saved the most important one for last. Elliott Shore Parks. Where would you rank him in terms of other media? There's a lot of ranking of players, but Elliott as a reporter, would you say he's top half, top third of Eagles reporters?
Bottom third, bottom
third, bottom half. And we want your honesty. He is a teammate of ours, but he needs honesty.
He's always been top half for me.
Okay.
And usually style, he might be number one. At least shoe game, he's number one.
Oh, don't tell him that.
Well, I wouldn't be saying that if I didn't see it the past 10 years, so I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, he's got a nice setup of shoes.
What do you think about the soccer jerseys?
Hey, if he likes it, I don't care. Hey, wear that all day. I don't care. Just don't wear some Knicks or some basketball teams around here. It's not the Sixers. I don't care.
Well, we appreciate you, man. You're a great Eagle, great career. I also wanted to tell you, I forgot this. We do a Mount Rushmore week every year here.
Oh yeah.
And we have people vote on each team, and it was for the last 50 years. And we use our staff for half of it and listeners for half of it. And you were one of the 4 on the Eagles Mount Rushmore of the last 50 years.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
The thing about Philly is that, everything that you learn as a player, you learn from guys that have, upheld the tradition. So guys to the left of me, guys to the right of me.
Well, no, he didn't play.
I know, but still, but you understand what it is. So
I played some stuff.
We're very fortunate to have so many people that are invested in football because it's not like this in other cities, So we're very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be a part of this.
Appreciate you, Lane. Thanks.
Appreciate it, brother.